I mean, yeah, the labor
Sure.
paradox. It is it is real, but it is also not new. In our world is going through a lot of changes and challenges. Just watch the news and pick a station, any station, and there's a sense of unrest in many ways. I think there are real impacts to businesses when we have broad stroke announcements coming out of any government, paired with regional instabilities. I think that creates a climate where companies retract on hiring, and where employees who may want to grow or leave get a little scared to move on. And so you have a delta group of unemployed people who um, have a harder time finding jobs. I think that you look at some company behaviors, and there are ways to solve those, but time works against us. So what do I mean by that? Company leadership, executives, stakeholders might say things like we need to drop X from our bottom line. They bring in big consulting firms who do transformation projects that look at spreadsheets that say you don't need this, and it's very much cost reduction over anything else. And then you couple that with a hiring freeze. What happens is you see an influx of contingent and non-employee labor because work still has to get done. You see some pressure because there's some big announcements like, hey, we're going to have X amount of AI. I don't know that in practice that's actually as fast as like reading about it makes us feel like it is. Um, but one of the ways that I'm at least encouraging customers and thinking about things differently, and I hope will be more of a trend this year, is looking at some of the AI forward skills-based hiring tools. So like if I take like Monopoly, right? Like this is a tool, it's very AI forward. There's advanced skills matching. It's been trained for a number of years. And you think about the capability of, instead of bringing in a big consulting firm, instead of going through a transformation, of actually dropping in a strategic workforce plan and being able to say, here's where we're looking at a layoff, but here's where these people we're laying off have a transferable skill to work that we still think will be core to our business 6 months or a year from now. And then how can you tie that into internal mobility programs? And when I think about internal mobility, there's a sense check about tying that in with contingent labor. And so as you're creating more of that workforce ecosystem, you can find places for the work to get done with humans that are unemployed in different ways. Um, and so I think like with the labor paradox, I think we all have to remember putting people to work does not always mean making people an employee. And
Right.
so one of the ways to solve that labor paradox is both to become much more savvy with the tools that you're bringing in to be able to track and manage skills and skills gap and reallocate resources to the right places. Synthetic labor may become part of that over time, but then to be able to still carve out this is what's needed and to keep feeding those machines with all types of labor. So not having your gig FMS over here and your VMS here and your HCM here, those systems need to all be able to talk somehow. And if it takes an overlay system to do it, then so be it, right? That becomes like
Yes.
finance and technology and tech debt planning. That's not really like a workforce plan as much as people want to talk
Yeah.
about it like